Awesome. So some of you may have joined me in the last couple of weeks. Some may have not. So I'm starting my classes in a different way. How I was taught in the whole practice of yoga, every class that I've ever attended, whether that be online or in person, pretty much, words are different, situation is different, but pretty much everybody kind of starts their class in some sort of tune in, block everything else out, and take this time for you is basically the concept. I'm going to change that because many reasons, but the main reason is maybe this is the only time that you have had to stop. Maybe this is your only time that you have to work through emotions, or what I like to call the ball of yarn that's in my head of all the thoughts, and trying to untangle those and feel a little bit more clearer about things. So I'm going to offer different options to start your practice out. As always, we're still going to tune in to our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, like we always do, but with the added option that you don't have to block everything out. It's why yoga is such a versatile practice to begin with. It really does take care of the whole body, spirit, mind, body, everything connected, everything together if you allow it. So an opportunity today that if you need that, if this is your only free time, this is your only free space to work things out through your emotions, through your head, through your thoughts, or anything else, use that time to do so. And on the flip side of that, if you need to block everything out, you've been so hectic, you've been so crazy, and that's not going to be beneficial for you today, then block everything else out and take this hour for you. Whatever feels comfortable. I'm just changing kind of how I approach that, because I did a yoga practice myself and it helped me work through just a lot of different stresses I had going on. And as I was moving, I was kind of thinking about one thing, and then I was moving or holding a stretch and I was thinking about something else. And by the time I finished, I felt so much clearer, so much lighter. So just an opportunity to know that every time you start a practice, whether it's with me or somebody else, even if they say block everything else out and you need that, yoga is all about finding what you need in that moment when you're on your mat. So let's tune in and find out what that is. Comfortable position. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you keep your eyes open. Slow, deep breaths as you tune in. And then find what you need. Is it to work through some stuff today? So your mind's going to be moving, maybe feel things, emotions. Or maybe you bring in, like we normally do, a mantra or an affirmation to help just keep you focused and blocking everything else out. So your choice. And for yin practice, we want to let the muscles relax. We don't want to push and feel this deep stretch. We want to kind of half it, maybe even a little bit less, about 40% of a sensation, and just hold it there and breathe slow so our body can do what it's designed to do. So let's start with those slow, deep breaths in. Slow, deep breath in. Find that pause at the top of the breath and then release it out. 2 more just like that. Breathe it in. Pause, release it out. Last one, breathe in. Pause and release. Option to bring one hand, both hands to your heart, one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. A little heart coherent breath as we move into Christmas next week. We're going to breathe in, really feel that breath. Expand your belly, expand the chest, count to 6, and then let it go just as slow for 6. So on our next inhale in, count at your counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. Breathe out. Beautiful. Find a little movement so we don't get stiff and still positions already. Move through the neck, the shoulders. Notice those tension spots, that tightness that your body feels. So we kind of have this before and after effect in our practice today. Beautiful. And then in any comfortable position for the lower body, we're going to start with eagle arms. So arms are going to come forward. We're going to take the right over the left. Maybe you just lift the fingertips up towards the sky and hold it here, letting your arms relax into your chest. Or you have the option of wrapping that bottom arm around the top if that works best for you and your body today. 1.5 minutes on each side. So find that comfortable position. And then just breathe it out. Five more breaths here. And then slowly breathe in. As you breathe out, release. Maybe take your arms, sway them to the sides and across, or roll the shoulders, move through the wrists. Whatever movement feels comfortable here. And then set up for the opposite side. So same thing, arms come forward, left over right this time. Bend the elbows, reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Maybe you take that bottom arm and wrap it around the top. And 5 more breaths here. Breathe in. As you breathe out, release. Same thing. Take the arms out, swing them, or roll the shoulders, move through the neck. Well, then we'll make our way onto all fours for a little bit of wiggling for that lower body since we've been sitting for a moment. So any movement here as you arrive. And then slowly begin to widen the knees, big toes together, wide leg child's pose with the hips in the lower body, sink the hips back. If you have a prop, you can just use one block or no props at all. Elbows can come to the block, hands in prayer, or maybe you just bring your forearms and wrists to the block. Option just to reach the arms forward towards the top of the mat. Same option, elbows to the mat, hands lift. Maybe you use a prop for your forehead. Sink down. Breathe 2 minutes here. Four more breaths here. Slowly and gently begin to release the arms. Option to take a side body stretch or come to all fours. So lift the head, walk the hands over to the right corner of your mat, left hand on top, sink it down. Just a breath or two here. And lift up the head, walk the hands over to the left side of your mat. Maybe right hand goes on top of left. And then slowly and gently begin to peel up, tabletop position. Any movement, maybe hips to heels, maybe you rock back and forth with the hips. Just find what feels good for your body here. And then widen the knees again if that feels more comfortable for the lower body. As we come into thread the needle, going with right arm over to the left. First option to sink the hips down. You can take child's pose and thread the needle if that feels more comfortable for your body today. Inhale, reach that right arm out. Exhale, take it over to the left, coming onto the outside as much as possible of that right shoulder. And then decide what feels comfortable with the left hand. Reach it forward. Just let the forearm lay on the mat. Maybe even taking the hand to the lower back. Or maybe lift the shoulders up towards the sky. Whichever option. Four more breaths here. And using that left hand on your mat, inhale, lift up. Find any movement that arrives here. And switch it over to the opposite side. Same option to widen the knees if that just feels a little bit more comfortable. Inhale that left arm, exhale, take it over to the right. Palm lifted up towards the sky. Find your edge on this side. Drop the hips if that's more comfortable. Five more breaths here. Press into the right hand as you breathe in. Slowly and gently begin to lift up any movement as you arrive here as well. Swing your legs over to the left side of your mat and let's roll down on that right thigh. Open the legs up to find our deer pose. Perfect for our Christmas season. We'll call it reindeer pose for today. Just find that comfortable place for the hips, legs further apart, closer together. And then option to add more arms here or just relax down however you feel comfortable. You can always walk those arms out straight and let your head relax, keeping the arms straight if that's too much. Then just relax down, maybe stack the hands or create fists. Maybe even use a prop if you have one for the forehead. And just 3 more breaths here. As you breathe in, begin to lift. You can move through a seated position or come back to tabletop position if movement felt better there. Then we'll bend our knees and start to walk our legs over to the right side of our mat to find our reindeer pose on this side. So any comfortable position here, just kind of take that moment, feel out the hips, the legs, and then slowly begin to bring the chest, the head down, find what feels comfortable here. Hold yourself in a position, use props. Three more breaths here. Slowly and gently begin to lift up. take your time, find any movement along the way or as you arrive back to that seated position. Oh, and as we come in to this weekend ahead of us with lots of astrological things going on and the winter solstice, we're going to come into our heart opening pose. If you do not have any props, then there is a seated variation that you can do just by sitting with your feet in butterfly or cross-legged and just walk your hands behind you, just lightly squeezing the shoulder blades together and lifting the chest up to the sky. Option if you have one or two blocks, they're going to go for your shoulders or your head, whichever one feels the best. Just find whichever heart opening pose just feels right. 5 more breaths here. Slowly and gently roll a little bit over to one side as you lift up and slowly come back to that seated position for the most comfortable forward fold to add the hips butterfly or just straighten the legs out. Lift as you breathe in, lift up and over as you exhale, round the spine. Let the chin fall to the chest. Five more breaths here. Slowly and gently inhale to rise. And then taking any movements as we make our way down onto our backs. Movement allowed as you arrive here as well. Find what feels good for your physical body. Coming into the front of the hips, so as stretch option if you have a prop to lift the hips and slide your prop underneath your lower back. And then your right knee in towards the chest, left leg out straight. Option to kind of do a upside down half frog and open that right shin out towards the right side of your mat. And remember, we're not pulling and really pulling that stretch. Just a gentle sensation here, and just let your body relax. 4 more breaths here. And then bend that left knee, bring the left foot to the floor to release. Take a breath or two here. And then slowly begin to lift that left knee in towards the chest. Extend the right leg. Same option to open up that left knee to the left side of your mat if that's what feels best for your body today. Five more breaths here on this side. Slowly begin to bend your knee on that right side. Bring the foot to the floor to release the left. If you're on a prop, gently begin to lift the hips. find your movement. Any movement wiggles, stretches. And then sink into that final pose that's so comfortable, where you just feel like you can just let everything relax. Start by closing your eyes, signaling to your mind, signaling to your body that you can now just let everything go and relax. Feeling your breath move gently your belly, your chest. And sending your breath down to your feet. Feeling that soft, gentle movement. Feeling your toes and the soles of your feet, the tops of your feet, your heels with your breath. Allowing your feet to completely relax. And then breathe in, send that breath down to your ankles. Feeling your shins, your calves, your knees. Sending breath into your thighs, feeling your thighs, your legs just completely relax. And then breathing into the hips and the pelvis. Feeling your hips and your pelvis relax. Breathing in, sending your breath to wrap around the hips to the lower back. Feeling your lower back relax. And as you breathe in, let that breath rise up the back, relaxing each vertebrae at a time. Breathing in to your lower belly. Breathing in to your chest. Breathing in, filling your shoulders, allowing your shoulders to completely relax. Breathing in to the upper arms and elbows. The forearms, the wrists, and the hands. Breathing into the back of the neck. Breathing in to the jaw, to the cheeks, to the eyes, to the forehead. And allowing your whole self to just relax. Relax into your breath, relax into your body, relax into the floor, and just allow yourself to breathe for a few moments. Slowly and gently begin to bring yourself back. Start by finding that soft, gentle movement, starting to wiggle through the fingers, through the toes. And then just beginning to find any movement, wiggles, or stretches that feel good for you and your body. And in your timing, when you're ready, roll over onto one side, bending your knees to support you there. And then in your timing, slowly beginning to make your way back to that comfortable seated position to notice and tune in once again. Bringing your hands to heart or hands in any other comfortable position. Repeat my words in your mind and say them daily, hourly if you need to. Tell yourself today, say, I am amazing. Tell yourself today, say, I am worthy. Tell yourself today, I am perfect just the way that I am. And tell yourself today, I am enough. Take a slow, deep breath in. Exhale, release it out. Namaste.